A very iconic model to anyone that either has watched the anime, played the GBA game, or even the GameCube game. It is DOG01 Bluesdog, with a kit of triple rifle, biped legs, and the leg ability of aim, which passively buffs the success of equipped shooting parts just for having the legs equipped on the build. Now, as a model that is incredibly iconic, a lot of people will know this model one way or the other, and if not, they will absolutely know one of the friends that he also was paired with as well in the anime or in the games. But all the same, even alone and by himself, Bluesdog is a very solid and conventional, balanced model that you can never ever go wrong with using anywhere, whether that be as pure set or as mixed parts, and his incredible balance also makes himself a best friend not just to rookies and newcomers, but also to veterans alike. Rifle on all three parts is a conventional shooting skill with incredible versatility and balance, no major drawback or cooldown penalty, and very consistent damage across the board. The only real difference between Cyandog and Bluesdog, the early model and this model, is the fact that one may have slightly higher stats than the other, but otherwise their performances across the board are moderately close, with no real change between the two. So that being said, there really is no reason to use Bluesdog over Cyandog or Cyandog over Bluesdog, because they're going to give you the same performance across the board. But even then, even with the stat differences being relatively nominal, Rifle is a part that you can use anywhere with perfect flexibility, and the fact that Bluesdog has it on not one, not two, but all three of his parts gives you the ultimate flexibility that you can use it just about anywhere, in any build, however you need it. The only real drawback to Bluesdog in this case is that he can be moderately pricey to raise, given the fact that he is a 2-star model, but because of that, he is available in the permanent banner and gacha pools, so you have a chance at picking up at least something of him every time you draw 10 or even draw a regular single pull from any banner you choose. And the aim ability honestly does make his already well-rounded kit just a little bit nicer, as success ties into the likelihood of landing hits and landing critical hits. So even just using him as a pure set alone, or even just using his legs on mixed parts, that gives his arms the passive chance to add extra damage as a critical hit whenever attacking, because success ties your likelihood of landing and your likelihood of crits. That being said, as a pure set score, I do have to rate Bluesdog a very solid 7 out of 10 across the board. Very balanced, very versatile, moderately decent stats across the board when it comes to power, mobility, and armor, but in general just a model you really can't ever go wrong with using. And as mentioned, because he is rather iconic to anyone that has watched the anime or played the earlier games that were localized, he's honestly a model that can very easily synergize with a lot of new players that say perhaps don't know the game very well, but need to pick a comfort character that they can make use of while they understand it. As mixed parts, I do have to rate him just a little bit higher at a 7.5 out of 10, given that one of his greatest charms is, again, his versatility, given that the rifle skill is active on all three of his parts, both his arms and his head, which means you can fit them anywhere very easily with good flexibility, and as mentioned, even if he is just a little expensive to raise in some cases, the payout for that in the long run for having his parts raised and on standby will absolutely make their worth in every coin spent.